good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to the Monday live stream. Today we do have a special guest that should be on here in about 10 minutes, and that is the owner and perfumer over at Day 3 Fragrances, and that is Michael Paul. If you guys are interested in anything that he has to say as far as the Desert Rain, any other fragrances that you might want to talk about, make sure to ask some questions when he does get in here. And it is his birthday. So, Mike, if you are watching prior to the you coming on, happy birthday to you. Everybody, make sure once he joins that you do say happy birthday. I have some questions, obviously, that I'm going to ask him. We'll probably go for about 50 minutes to an hour. But make sure to let me know what your scent of the day is. Because it is, I did wear Desert Rain the last 2 days prior today, and it is slightly cooler outside. I decided to go with Trace Oros. If you guys want to know how much I like something, after having this for only like 4 or 5 months, you can see how much that I've actually went through of Trace Oros, knowing that I have the collection that I have. It is a semi-fresh gourmand. It's almost like if you took honey and cinnamon and put it on top of a pineapple ring. Such a freaking good fragrance. Best release of the year by far. With that said, today I'm obviously going to be concentrating on their new release in collaboration with the singer Colton Dixon, but we will talk about that a little bit later. That is Desert Rain. But anyway, hopefully you guys are all doing well. What's going on, Barry? Hopefully you're doing well. Scent of the day is Mancera Amberful. Nice. I haven't tried that one yet. What's going on, Kevin? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. What's going on, Kenneth? Scent of the day is Amouage Enclave. Nice. What's going on, Mitra? Hopefully you're having a good day as well. AZ Cougars football, Arizona Cougars. Absolutely love Desert Rain. Had it for about a month now. You had Desert Rain for a month? How did you get Desert Rain for a month? I pre-ordered it, and the pre-order came in 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. I didn't think you could get it earlier than that. Anyway, I'm glad that you enjoy it. Blessed to be local to Arizona. Is that probably why? What is the best Invictus Aqua 2016 recommendations? Like, are you talking about like the best comparisons to it? Or are you saying which Invictus Aqua is best? Because last year I actually did a video where I compared Invictus Aqua 2016, 2018, and the new 2024 that came out last year, which you can still find full bottles of that on like Scent Rush and stuff like that for just over $100. I tried all three of them. There really isn't that big of a difference in any of the three. The one's a little bit more aquatic and the one's a little bit more fruity, but the 2024, honestly, of the three was my favorite. But it's like I couldn't tell much of a difference from the three. And I think it's because they used the DNA of the 2016 or 2018, and those were so close. But the batch differences with those don't really matter. So if you're looking for an Invictus Aqua 2016, just get the 2024 version. It is basically the same thing. But with that said, I see that he is in the background. Are you ready, Michael? All ready to go? All right, I'm going to bring him on. Today we have Michael Paul, the perfumer for Day 3 Fragrances.
Hello,
What's going
everybody.
on, man?
How's it going?
It's going. Just another day talking about fragrances, as pretty much every day with me.
You're living the life right now.
Yeah. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That's absolutely fantastic. When you said it was your birthday, I didn't actually think that you would go live with me, but I'm happy to share that day with you.
Dude, I wouldn't rather be doing anything else on my birthday than talking fragrances with you right now. This is like the
That
best.
Well, I absolutely appreciate that. If you guys don't know, they have three new releases this year now.
Yep.
So Day 3, Trace Oros, which, as you know, is my favorite release to date. Then the one with Megan Woods, which was Royal Reflection. It's a Rose Soulfleur, which going into it, you were pre-warning me, like what it was all about. And you were completely right, because the first wear, I was like, this might be better on my wife. But as I kept wearing it, it is a very well done, well blended Rose Soulfleur. And it's, if you don't like Rose, obviously it's not going to be something that you like. But if you're somebody who does like Rose, It is up there with my favorites. My favorite roses: Halfeti Black Rose, MFK Lome Ala Rose. Like those are the ones that I've always enjoyed, and yours fits directly in that. And then obviously you have the one with Colton Dixon, Desert Rain.
Mhm.
But for those of you who did miss it last time, are you able to reiterate how you got started into all of this?
Oh, into fragrances completely.
Completely. I know you did it last time, so if you want to summarize, it's totally fine. I just know there's a lot of new people in here today.
Cool, yeah. So I was a magician for like 20 years. I traveled all over the world doing like really high-end events and high-end venues. I had a show off Broadway in New York. I was working the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California. And then COVID happened, and suddenly like I was just out of work just instantly. And so my wife at the time was a medical assistant, and her job got really stressful for the same reason. And so it's like every day was some sort of struggle. And we were just found ourselves praying, like, what is the plan going to be for our lives? Because I couldn't see going back to performing. And so we just spent a lot of time in prayer. And then one day it just had a message just drop into my heart like, hey, you're going to start a fragrance company, which was really crazy, actually, because we had no money. We didn't have a lab. We didn't have industry connections. We had never previously talked about doing fragrance. It was just something that was like totally new for us. And so we went ahead and we did it, man. We stepped out on faith and we created our first perfume and we submitted it to the Art and Olfaction Awards like a couple of months later. And we ended up winning that award, which is the perfume equivalent to like winning a Grammy. Like it's a big deal.
Right.
And that just sort of like put us on the map right away. And people started calling like, hey, who are you? Like, where are you guys from? Like, where did you come from? And that was the start of day three. Like ever since the company has been growing sort of with us, just trying to like catch up and hold on, it's been a wild ride.
I actually, for those of you who don't know, and I don't know the answer to this, what fragrance was that? Was it Island?
Oh, so that was La Tacita de Cafe.
La Tacita de Cafe. I knew that you said it last time with Ross, but I think I was answering a chat question at that point in time. But that is one of actually that's one of the ones that got me into your brand because I got one of my subscribers sent me a day three introductory kit and I tested it out. It actually might have been Ross. I honestly don't remember. And La Tacita de Cafe was my favorite from the entire bunch. And that's what it was earlier this year. And then I started getting into, I mean, obviously, Trace Oros came out like 2 months after I got into the house. And I was like, I can't believe that I've been I've been hearing Ross talk about. There's so many houses out there that you don't know
Yeah.
which one to get into, and so I just once I tried that, I knew I've been so, and I a lot of my subscribers know this. I've been really sick of redundancy lately. There has been, it's almost like there is a lack of either knowledge or want to make something unique out there. And I've been trying to find new brands. And as soon as I landed on day three, I knew it was the company that I was going through. Because now, I mean, I have 5 day 3s and
Oh, nice.
working my way into your collection. And as you know, Island is my next one. And I actually just saw that you have a hoodie. I
Yeah.
was looking at it right before the live stream and I was like, hey, fall's coming. I am buying your hoodie. That's a pretty sick thing. And I can wear it on my live streams and stuff.
Awesome. Awesome.
Um, what else? The next thing, obviously, if you guys didn't know, this is brand new as of it was August 2nd.
Yeah. August
Yeah.
2nd.
This is Desert Rain, and it is in collaboration. I actually got one of the bottles that was signed by Colton Dixon. And if you don't know who Colton Dixon is, he was it sixth or seventh on American Idol,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
now he's a singer songwriter that does more of like the pop music that is like Christian pop, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
He's like in the Christian genre. He really is one of those people who got famous with American Idol, like without having to win it. And like if you check out Colton Dixon anywhere like on YouTube, you immediately kind of like see why, because he's like that heartthrob like singer. Like his voice is incredible. He's got the look, and so being on TV just sort of like shot him into like fame.
Yeah, I checked out. If you guys haven't checked out any of his music, "Up and Up" is one that I just checked out, and
Mhm.
that's a very, very good song. But I wanted to ask first, you worked with obviously the global phenomenon that is Megan Woods,
Yeah.
and now you're working with a American Idol slash American singer songwriter and Colton
Mhm.
Dixon. How did you guys come up with those collabs, and was it something that just was fluent and it just happened from meeting them, or was it, did you know that these were the people that you wanted to work with?
Um, yeah, there's a lot there. So, we've been friends with Colton for a while, and every time we'd get together, we would just sort of joke around about like, because Colton is a huge frag head. Like, he's got an amazing
Really?
collection. He knows everything about fragrance. Like, he has very strong like preferences. And so I see him at all the events, and we're always chit-chatting at like concerts and that kind of thing. And he's always like, "Hey man, someday Day 3 is going to do the official Colton Dixon fragrance." And I was like, "Yeah, man, that would be awesome." Except we were never really serious about it because we're a very new company and Colton is like a pretty big star. And so if we had done a collaboration like any earlier, we would not have been able to do him justice. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
we just
totally.
we felt like we weren't ready. And so we would just sort of joke around about it. And earlier this year, or I should say December of last year, Scent Explorer asked us to do the official fragrance of Scent Explorer. And so we released Aylin, and then Aylin went nuts on Fragrantica. Like the scores on Fragrantica were super high, which, if you know anything about Fragrantica reviews, that's a
Yeah,
really
yeah, I think
that's a
Ross
tough
calls it
one.
Troll Granica now.
Yeah. So we released our new packaging and everything. And so now we're like, okay, we have the fancy box and we have the fancy bottles, and the reputation is starting to grow. We had just picked up a couple of awards at Fragrantica, and one of them was for best up and coming niche house. And so we're like, you know what? Maybe maybe we're getting to the place that we need to be to start doing these collaborations. And
Absolutely.
I had always felt like I'm living somebody else's life. Like I'd talk to friends and I'd say like, wow, this is really crazy that it's happening. Like this is happening to us. And I was talking to a friend in Nashville, and he owns a perfume shop in Nashville. And he was congratulating us on the awards. And I said, yeah, isn't that crazy that this is happening to us? Like I can't believe that people think that we're this good. And he told me straight up, he was like, Mike, you have to lose the imposter syndrome thing because it's going to hold you back eventually. You have to start like stepping into your role and like,
That's a great tip.
like mentally grow into like the place that you're at. And it wasn't more than like a week later that this guy calls and he said, hey, I'm a big fan. I've got like 6 of your bottles, and I work with this artist. Her name is Megan, and she's #1 in 41 countries right now. And I would love to do a fragrance inspired by her song so that she has her own fragrance. And would you be willing to do it? And we were kind of mind blown. Like it was the last thing we expected. And he just happened to know the house from purchasing bottles. So we listened to the song, and the song just got me. Like,
And same way with me. Whenever I even put it in my video, I absolutely love that song.
yeah, it's like emotional. Like if you're not ready for it, you could accidentally cry. Like, and I don't want to cry on camera, but it's like a
It's your
really
birthday.
emotional
Do whatever
song.
you want, man.
Well, and especially for like where we're at as a family, because I've got a teenage daughter, and for the people that don't know, the song is called "The Truth," and it's about a woman who's singing like, "Hey, this is what the world expects of me, but the truth is like that I'm made in the image of a perfect king, like, and I have value because God loves me and God created." And that like it gets me like emotional, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I do want to tell that story for Megan. And turns out we jumped on a call with her. She's like the nicest person ever. She's incredible. And our team, their team and our family just hooked up instantly. We just got along. And so we did Royal Reflection, and we wanted to do something that smells like royalty. Like when you spray it on, like there's a timelessness to it. It's a high quality. We didn't want to do anything cheap. Like a lot of these celebrity fragrances are very inexpensive. You can find them like on discounter racks, and those fragrances are typically just used to make a couple of bucks for the artist. The artist slaps their name on it. And we said, we don't want to do that. We want to do something super high quality. And so we did Royal Reflection, and it was received really well. And then no sooner was the ink dry on that contract than I called up Colton and I said, "Hey, it's finally time. Like we've been talking about this for a while. Like let's go ahead and do it." And Colton was 100% in. He was like, "Dude, I'm ready." And he had been thinking about it for a while, so he had already had like ideas in his head. He had thoughts, places he wanted to go, stories he wanted to tell. And so we flew out to Nashville to meet with Colton and sat down with him, and he just poured out his heart. Like, I want to do something for the fans. I want it to be meaningful. Like, I want it to be high quality. And we started getting to work, and here we are.
That's awesome. Stemming off of talking about Megan and everything, what was the creative process like working with Colton, and did it differ? And working with Megan, like, did one have more creative direction than the other one? Did one like to be more hands off and say, "Let you do it"? I was very interested in that part of it.
Yeah, man, that's a great question. Megan had just recently gotten into niche fragrance. So it was more her manager that was like really familiar with us and with fragrance in general. And Megan loved the idea and she loved the concept, but she didn't want to be as hands-on because she was like more in a position of like, hey, I trust you guys. Like, here's the feel that I want, here's the emotion, this is what I want to capture. And I don't know how to put it really into words, but once I smell it, I'll know what it is,
I'll
you
leave
know?
it to the professionals.
Yeah. And so we crafted sort of a direction that we wanted to go. She loves the feeling of rose, and rose is such it's the queen of flowers. When you put rose into a fragrance, it's very distinct, it's very, very rich. And so I said, well, let's do a Rose solo floor. Because if you watch Megan sing, like if you watch her shows, she's not a trendy, like young TikTok dance kind
Right.
of artist. She's timeless. Like she comes out, she just belts out these songs. Like her voice is huge. And she just has this feeling like she's going to stick around for a while. Like the
I
songs
think
are
I
just going to
said to
stay.
you, it reminds me of a lot of Adele. Like
Yeah, people have
the
said that. Adele.
not
Yep.
not not like, yes, she might have the same type of vocals, but also at the same time, she has that kind of that quality that Adele has, that it just seems like you said, like more timeless, that she's going to be here for a long time.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to go with a rose solo floor. I said, I don't want to do anything that's like really trendy right now because you don't want it to die off, where in a couple of years the fragrance just goes by the wayside because people have moved on from this trend. I said, let's do something really timeless and expensive and written. So we ended up with a rose solo floor, and that ended up being Royal Reflection.
Yeah.
Colton was way different. Like Colton, he knows so much about fragrance and he's so opinionated and he knows what quality smells like. So right away when we met with Colton, he started just naming off like ingredients he would love to smell and ideas and accords. And like for Colton, this was a very hands-on experience. We were sending him vials every day of
So
new
like 1A,
variations.
1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C. And then for her, it
Yeah.
was probably like 1A, B, C, D. And she's like, yeah, I'll choose that one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. We sent a handful of vials to Megan, and then she came out here to Arizona, and I presented her with 9 variations of the fragrance. And she ended up, we ended up being like right on the same page because the one that she selected was one that if it was me and I had to choose to do it just for day 3, I would have done that fragrance. So we were right on the same page with that. With Colton, though, I was sending him like individual raw materials and accords, and we must have sent him like 70 packages. I mean, I was just sending like just every single day, and he was really into it. Like he would get a package, he would like put a little dab of it on, wear it, and then call me up, and we would talk about the accord and talk about like the ingredients. And he was one of those ones who's like he knew exactly what he wanted it to be right when it began. Like it was great working with him because he's so passionate.
Well, that was going to be one of my other questions. Was Colton immediately sold on one version, or did it take him a lot of trial and tribulations? Even though he knew what he wanted it to be perfect.
Yeah, he definitely wanted perfection, and we were excited about that because I told him up front, this might be a really long process. Like going for, like working with you might be a really long process, but we're gonna nail it at the end, you know? And I don't know that he knew exactly what he wanted it to smell like, but the idea in his head, like he was very, very passionate about. He wanted to share the sense of like standing in the desert and then the clouds roll in and it begins to rain. Um, he's got a song called Build a Boat, and the song is basically inspired by the story of Noah, like
I'm
Noah's
sorry.
Ark. Yeah. And what, everyone knows about like the animals going onto the ark two by two, but what a lot of people miss if you're not really reading the story is that God comes to this guy Noah, and Noah lives in the desert and he's never seen rain. And God tells him, like, I want you to build a boat, which must have been the wildest request for Noah. But Noah like had the faith to step out and do it. And so Colton's song is all about Colton sort of thinking in his own head, what if God asked me to do something crazy? Would I have the faith to jump out and, and just do as God says, like just have that obedience. And so he
That's
said, I want to do something that smells like you're in the desert and then it begins to rain. Just that feeling of like joy and like the faith that you had is like coming to fruition. And now the rain is coming. And I was like, hey, dude, we live in Arizona. Like I can literally walk outside my house and be in the desert waiting for rain, like in a minute. And so that's what we did. We've got 8 people that work here at the lab. And when the rain would come, like when we could see on our phone that it was going to rain, we would take everybody out of the lab and we would drive out into the desert. And then we would just make notes about what it would smell like as the rain is coming in. And
can you take over my live, because I want to go into the chat and just listen right now. I'm sitting here like
yeah,
I'm smiling and I'm cheesing. I'm watching myself and I'm like, stop it.
that's
Like
fine.
just hearing this story is just the thought process that you put in and people that you work with put in. It seems like you chose the right people. You knew what
We
you
did.
wanted
Yeah.
and it all worked out. I mean, before we get into the scent profile, how and who came up with the name Desert Rain? I'm guessing Colton.
I don't know if it was, I don't know who mentioned it first, but we kicked it around and then we kept coming back to it. And we were like, this has got to be the one because it was the one that we both kept coming back to.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, it's perfect. I think it was Colton actually who mentioned Desert Rain. And I was like, yeah. The challenge was that Colton is like a huge fan of like the really dark notes, animalic stuff, like ouds, super heavy woods.
Right.
And I told him from the beginning, I was like, hey, man, I was like, we can do something really super dark, or we can do something based on Desert Rain, but I feel like they would be two different fragrances. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, Colton really wanted to do it like for his fans, like tell this story in an artistic way. So he kind of like put his own preferences aside and he was like, let's tell this story like authentically. And
How
so,
did how did you accomplish like the rain accord? I know that like for me, I was wondering if it was the cactus blossom that
mm,
might have brought some of that watery tones, like the watery floral to it. I don't know exactly what that smells like. I was just, and then I saw that you had the note desert rain. Like, how did
mm.
you accomplish that rain accord?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that when when you walk outside and you say, "Oh, it smells like rain," you're not actually smelling the water, right? You're smelling your environment, how it's reacting to the water hitting the minerals, the asphalt, the soil, all of that. And so, a big part of how we got to where we got to was literally standing in the desert and taking notes. Um, there's a chemical called geosmin, which a lot of perfumers use to just create this scent of petrichor, which is like when the water hits the rocks, it releases this chemical called geosmin, and humans can pick it up from a very long distance. And so a lot of times you'll hear that that's what like petrichor is made out of, and that's what rain smells like. But desert rain is a little bit different. And when we were out in the desert, one thing that the entire team noticed is like, hey, when the rain moves in, the air takes on this really sweet quality. Like there's a sweetness to it. And I told that to Colton. I said, hey, we're gonna have to put something really sweet in here because the air, when everything is really dry and then the water moves in, all the plants come like back to life and they start releasing these chemicals from the plants and the bushes and the flowers into the air. And it's making it very sweet. So we tried sugar materials, we tried vanillas, we tried all different kinds of fruits, and it was never quite right. And then at one point, we hit on leather, just a little trace, a little baby touch of leather in there, and it mixed with some of the other woods, and it gave it this soft sweetness. And I was like, that's it, like that's exactly it. And so we stuck with that accord, and we sort of built out from that accord.
It's funny that you say that because in one of my many reviews I've done for it already, I said I saw that there was leather in the
Mhm.
fragrance. As far as the breakdown, I said, and there's like this touch of it underneath it that just provides a little bit of like almost warmth to the
Yeah,
fragrance. And that, but it's not like something where if you don't like leather, you can't have this fragrance because that's not what this fragrance is about.
right.
It just adds that warmth to the fragrance. I almost thought it was like a cashmerean or something like that to
Mhm.
like a bright warmth to the fragrance. And I really like that part of the fragrance to where it's like it just provides this air, like I said, of warmth. And I really, really enjoy it. But to the scent profile itself, I
Mhm.
noticed that the juniper really comes out, at least for the first like half hour, 45 minutes, and juniper is one of my top five ingredients to use in fragrances. Was that something that you were planning on, or is that just something that I'm getting more powerful, or is it, I was just curious about how you use the juniper in it.
Yeah, the juniper does a really good job of making a very fresh accord with sage. So when you put juniper and sage together, they share some molecules in each material that make them very easy to mix together. So what I wanted to do was bring sage into the heart of the fragrance. And because out here in the desert, there's a very aromatic feel because, like I said, the plants coming back to life as the
Right.
rain hits them. And in order to express that aromatic aspect, I wanted to use sage, but sage can overpower a formula really easily. And so blending it with juniper gave the top a really fresh pop so that it has a very like hopeful feel right when you spray it on. There's a brightness and a freshness. And then as it sort of as it evolves, that note becomes the sage in the hearts. And that just gives it a smooth transition from top notes to middle notes. I know it's kind of nerdy, but like I'm
No,
totally
I
into that stuff.
absolutely love it. I'm like in a trance right now just listening to you talk about it because this fragrance, and as far as the transitions, a lot of fragrances very linear across the board, and you really do. One thing I've really found with day three is that you do have a massive transition from your openings into your mid down to your dry
Mm.
down, using the heart notes, the base notes to really show a story of how the fragrance is built.
Yeah.
And I like how the opening in this one starts out more fruity, fresh, floral, almost kind of watery. And then underneath, you get further in. And as that kind of fruity tone goes by the wayside, you get more of those slightly darker tones. But the way that the sandalwood comes in, it gives almost like a little bit of creaminess to it.
Mm.
And then you have the woods and the leather to bring some warmth. And it just really transitions into just a nice slightly vibrant, soft fragrance that I love the story that you're telling. And it's just as I've been wearing this fragrance now for 4 or 5 days, it's just hearing everything that you're saying. It's like I was wondering how that story was built, and you're just explaining it perfectly, which is again making me cheese over here. What would during the process? Did you have a favorite ingredient or raw material that you like using for this fragrance? And what is your favorite raw material or ingredient to use in all of your fragrances? I think I know the answer to that one, but Yeah.
Um, wow. So I think that we were stuck on cactus blossom in the top, to give it like a floral touch without making the fragrance feel like a floral fragrance, right? So we wanted sort of the effect of a flower, but without doing your typical like rose or jasmine.
Right.
And cactus blossom seemed like such a perfect fit. Like obviously the name of the fragrance is Desert Rain.
Right.
So it's like, well, let's keep the cactus blossom at the top, papyrus in the mid. Colton is just a big fan of the way papyrus smells. Um, we thought it was great. He loved the leather in the base. But yeah, I think the cactus blossom and the papyrus were two that, as much as we played with the formula over time, I think those two really stayed.
And what?
As far as like a favorite overall, man, that is very much like choosing a favorite food. Like if someone
Yeah.
said, "What's your favorite food?" Like, ah, dude, I don't know,
It's like
chocolate,
whatever one you're
chicken.
working on at that point in time, just you have something that you just really enjoy using at that time. But then the next fragrance, because you're putting your heart and soul into that fragrance, it's like you have a favorite at that point in time.
Right.
And yes, I like
Yeah.
I bet you 3 months ago, if I would have asked you this question, it would have been rose. And 3 months
Yeah.
before that, it probably was honey or pineapple or
Yeah.
something like that. Like no, so I totally get it.
Yeah,
Did
there's a natural sandalwood that we use that I love. Like if you're talking about like just going over to the wall and just picking ingredients off the wall and just smelling them, there's a sandalwood that we get from India that's like your eyes roll back in your head when you smell it. Um, we have a Vietnamese oud that is something that I'll just smell straight from the bottle, and that's another one that I can't believe that it's just a single material. It smells like a perfume. And so there's a few. And then we have the rose that we actually use in Megan's fragrance is an aged rose, and it grows in Grasse, France. And it's extremely rare. It's really expensive. And I'll smell that right from the bottle, and that, oh,
it's
I mean,
like you said, it's weightless. I
it's
absolutely love
weightless.
the way that you did that fragrance and you were explaining it. I was like, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about when he's saying weightless rose. I knew what you were saying, but I
Mhm.
couldn't think of what it would smell like. And as soon as I smelled it, I think I texted you within like probably 10 seconds of smelling it. I said, all right, I completely understand what you mean.
Yeah.
100%. And that actually transitions into the one thing that I wanted to ask, and I bet a lot of people here are wondering. You were talking about oud.
Yeah.
Am I hearing correct that you have an oud release coming
Oh,
up?
did that get out?
They did it. I don't
Th-
know. I
This is
heard it the
why
other day. I just wasn't sure if it was true or not, so I figured I'd ask you.
This is why Vanessa yells at me constantly because I can't keep a secret to save my life. Yeah, we have there's a day three oud coming, and it's a really powerful, like there's just a boatload of natural oud in this fragrance. I mean, it's to give you an I actually I have some that's sitting here macerating right now, like in a beaker. And if you see the color of this juice,
Oh,
yeah, that's there's no artificial color in there. That's the color of the raw materials that we're using. And so it's really deep and dark, it's sensual, and it's gonna be a good one.
I
It's
bet
gonna
you
be a good
Colton.
one.
Colton's gonna like that one.
Dude, Colton loves that one. Matter of fact, Colton got the very first bottle of that like on the planet. He came to Arizona and I had just bottled one for myself, like as a tester to wear it around. And Colton was just telling me about how much he loves ouds and that kind of thing. And I was like, here, I've got this for you. And I gave him the first bottle. So
Yeah, I actually just got, as far as reviewers are concerned, the first bottle of Creed Oud Zarian that just came out, and that stuff is very, very good. I mean, it's like seven
is it,
hundred
huh?
dollars, but it's a rose oud, so it's
Okay.
very similar. But it's like, have you ever tried a Moage Royal tobacco?
Yeah.
It's a Moage Royal tobacco. If you dial down the tobacco and add it in like licorice and rose.
Okay.
So it's a very interesting one, but it was thinking, and as soon as you showed me the color of that, it kind of reminded me of the color of the fluid inside of that. And so, but that's an expensive one. It hasn't even been released yet. I just somehow got
I'll
them
be
all.
curious to see how it does. I'm curious because I know the price is so high. Like I want to see what people think of it and if it
Yeah,
ends up at discounters and that kind of thing.
it actually olfactory got it today somehow. It doesn't come
Really?
out for like 20 days, but it was like even on discount it's 4.49. I was like that's just ridiculous.
That's I.
uh,
Yeah.
um this question came from one of my moderators. He
Okay.
wanted me to ask you, how do you and the Day 3 team continue to grow the brand when new creativity and fragrance seems to be slowing down and gearing towards the Middle Easterns and clones?
hmm Well, there's this misconception about creativity. People think that the harder you try to be creative, the higher your chance of putting out something really original. And I just don't think that's the case. I think that when you strive for creativity, you're actually limiting yourself. Um, because the first thing that people do when they try to be creative is they sit down with a notebook and they go, here are all the things I can't do because it's been done before. And so you put all of these constraints on you. Well, I don't want to do a coconut lime. I don't want to do a this. I don't want to do that. We don't, that's not really my process. I'll sit down and I'll just think about, well, quite honestly, like what is it that makes me happy? Or where does my mind go to when I'm just daydreaming? And if it makes me smile, then can I tell that story with a fragrance? Like with Tres Otos, everyone's talking about, wow, we were the very first people to use plantain as a note in a fragrance. And people are talking about the originality of Tres Otos. Well, that's what my house smells like. My my mom will come over and she'll cook Dominican cake, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
I remember
And
watching that when you were talking about that on Josh's live on Instagram. I was like, yeah, okay, I know what you mean because I
so
actually
good.
asked you a question. I was on a cruise ship and I went to Ambar Dominicano, or that's your fragrance. No, I went to Amber Cove in the
Okay.
Dominican Republic and they had those, and I was like, yeah, I just ate those like 3 months before you had that conversation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, delicious. And then, Vanessa will be in there cooking maduros, which is like plantains, but they're cooked in butter and cinnamon. And, every time that my mom is here and she asks me to grab something from the cupboard, she's always yelling at me like, put honey on it, put honey on it. So like these are all the things that like for me, it's just everyday life. And when I think of it, I smile. It makes me feel good. It makes me think of home. And so I tell that story. And that it being genuine to yourself and being authentic is where real creativity comes from because nobody else is quite you. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
So no one else is going to create anything that's like Tres Oros unless you have the same exact story that I have with the same background and the same food and the same this and the same that. And so I can just be me and put something out and I know that like, hey, it's authentically me. So there's not something else that's like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so for most people that are experiencing your brand, it might come off as creativity, but to you, it's just personal experience.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And there's so many brands out there right now that are like, hey, we need to do a plum, we need to do a gourmand, we need to do a jasmine. And that's how you fall into creating something that smells just like everything else. Because you're
Yeah.
not really starting from a place of passion. There's no real soul in it. It's just you've picked out five notes. And, you know, from a perfumer standpoint, too, if you do that, if you pick out just a list of notes and you work from like, okay, I have to put out a jasmine. What smells good with jasmine? Well, as a perfumer, there are certain things that jump into your mind. Well, I'm going to need to use this musk. I'm going to want to cut it with this flower. It's good if I have this thing. But that's the way every perfumer thinks.
Right.
And so when you're finished, even though you feel like you've done something really creative, it's going to be really similar to what any other perfumer would do with the same set of notes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it seems like you're trying to build ingredients based on an experience, like you said,
Right.
walking out into the desert during the rain, or trying to get like uh specific, like your mom's homemade stuff, and trying to put that into a fragrance instead of saying, I want to work with this, this, and this. You're
Right.
trying to build a scent profile based on an experience.
Yeah, and we learned that really early too, because the first fragrance that we put out was La Tacita de Café,
Hmm.
and I made that for my mom to honor her. And we didn't have any, we were a brand new company. No one had ever heard of us before. I don't even know if at that point we had a website. And so this was very genuinely a gift for my mom. And it was very heartfelt. And when it won the big award, that was like a lesson for us to say, okay, you know what? We don't have to go chase trends or be somebody that we're not. We can be authentic to who we are and tell our stories. And then our tribe will find us. Like our customers will find us, and we don't have to be like everybody else. So it was a good lesson to learn like right from the front, like right as we started the company. And we've been doing the same thing ever since.
That's beautiful. I mean, I bet your mom, not only I bet you she's super proud of you, but I bet you she was super touched whenever she probably smelled that, knowing that you were building it around something that she's been making since you were young.
Well, I was just trying to be her favorite, if I'm honest, right?
What are your top three things that you and Vanessa and the whole Day Three team are proud of in your journey to this date? And if you guys don't know, Vanessa is he always calls her boss, is the co owner of Day Three.
Yeah, Vanessa does all the hard work. I get to play with the perfumes all day, and it's funny because whenever I'm talking to one of like our retail partners or something like that, if we're talking perfume, I can give them like all the answers. And as soon as they ask me a question about like the business side, I'm like, oh, hold on, let me go get Vanessa. Like, wait, I'll put you on the line with Vanessa. So she does all the hard work. I think one of the things we're most proud about is just the way our family has grown together through this process. I know that's maybe not the answer that a lot of people are like expecting or looking for, but the reality is we do a lot of travel and being together so often when your flight is late or you miss a train or your schedule gets messed up. You go through the really fun stuff and you go through the tough stuff, and we just sort of like grow together, and it's been really cool, especially watching Dakota grow up. Dakota is my daughter, and she also works in the company, and she's a teenager now, and she's going to be 18 soon, and just watching her try new things and hear new languages and see these relationships being built, and watching this company sort of grow up and then watching her mature like during that process
Right.
is definitely the thing I'm most proud about. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, because on my channel, I wouldn't even have a channel if it wasn't for building personal connections and personal relationships, and even sharing this with my daughter, who now wants to become a fragrance reviewer for perfumes and stuff like that. Like, and I know it's a different story for you, but I don't know. You say people might not want to hear that. That's what I want to hear, because if it wasn't, I mean, fragrances are just fragrances, and
Right.
they'll be there or they won't. But the family and friends that you build along the way, that's a completely different story. And so
Yeah.
as long as you hold on to that through the whole process, that's the kind of thing that I want to hear. That's the kind of thing that personally I want to hear. I don't know about anybody else, but I mean, it's just amazing. Speaking of like family, do you and your family have any other hobbies outside of fragrance?
Oh, lots. Yeah. We're big shooters. Everybody in the family shoots because, we live in Arizona. If you live in California, that might sound weird to you, but
Yeah, I'm in PA. I do like trap shooting, but that's about it.
yeah, we Coda is like a fantastic pistol shooter. Vanessa shoots. I shoot rifle and pistol, and that's just fun, like just fun for us. We'll go out and I was gone a couple of weeks ago for like 3 days, just out in the desert doing like a 3-day course. And you know, here I am like in the desert with the sun, and my hands hurt from gripping a gun for 3 days and so on and so forth. But it was the most refreshing like break from work. I would do it every weekend if I could.
That's awesome. If you guys, by the way, since we are rounding it down, if you guys do have any other questions for Michael or anything, just please put it in the chat. I'll obviously throw it up for him. What is your favorite fragrance outside of your whole company? Like, outside of the company, what fragrance do you wear, or do you just wear Day Three stuff?
Well, I wear a lot of day three, but I love everything. Like I am a fragrance fanatic. Geez, but if you ask me to name one,
Oh
Am
yeah,
I?
it's like which one right now? I know. I just this is not my question. I'm now at the point where I'm reading other people's questions, but yeah, I know if someone asks me, I always say, "Do you mean which one right now?" Because that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
I like Tomboy Neroli from Parle-moi de Parfum.
Mm.
That's done by Michel Almerac. He's one of my favorite perfumers. I love his work. Stefan Humbert Lucas does Panthea Iris, which is a Paris exclusive, but
Hmm.
man, that's a gorgeous iris. I know for a fact, I mean, I can smell it in there. It's iris and tobacco. That's what I get, iris and
That's an
tobacco.
interesting blend. I don't think I've ever smelled an Irish tobacco scent
It's not
before.
listed on the notes.
Mm.
But that's just what I feel like from working with materials. But
Yeah,
it's man, it's beautiful. I love it. Um, Vanessa's really into Siren from Fragrance du Bois right now. It's just something that tickles her. Like she just loves the scent of it.
I have that right over there. I haven't tried it yet. That's the one with
Um,
the pink front, right?
yes.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. I got that. I got a decan of that a couple
Coda's
days
with
ago.
Coda's been wearing a lot of Bliss by Perfumology. She just loves it. She loves that bottle. She had her signed. We were actually in Philly and she had it signed.
I've been
I love
wearing a
that
lot of
dent.
Tres Oros.
Look at that dent.
Yeah,
Yes. That tells
I
a story.
absolutely love it. It's my favorite fragrance right now in my entire collection. It beat
Wow.
out my favorite before this was Halcyon Oud by Soma Parfums, which is if you've ever smelled Angel Share,
Yep.
it's like a grown up kind of more masculine woody version of that kind of DNA.
Okay.
I like the sweet gourmands as you can tell, but Tres Oro, I guess I keep saying it wrong. Is it Oros?
Tres
Is it
Oros. Yeah.
is that Dominican?
Yeah, it's Spanish. It just means
Spanish.
three golds. So oro is gold. Um, so Vanessa's sister actually named that because we were talking about the pineapple, the plantain, and the honey, and we were just kind of like chit-chatting about like names that had gold in it, and she just said Tres Oros, and it like just rolled off of her tongue, and I was like, wow, I think that's the one. Just short, simple, to the point, and sounds so
I
good
can't
when she
believe I
says
didn't.
it too.
I have been calling it Trace Oros this whole time.
Oh, no, I mean that's perfect. Yeah, that pronunciation is perfect.
Yeah, I get people you don't know on YouTube. I mean, maybe I'm not on TikTok and Instagram, but on YouTube, if you say it without the E Saint Laurent, if you don't say it like that, they jump on top of you like you said that wrong. So I made a whole video, top 25 YSL Loam fragrances, and I called them Little Homie, and and
Perfect.
people got so mad about it. But does
Hey,
Vanessa
before we
or
get too far
yeah,
in, I wanted to let you
yeah.
know that we did create Dude 15 for all of
Oh,
your viewers. So if you guys want to do whatever purchase from the website, it's off of any full bottle. Also, when you buy a discovery set, you already get a discount code with the discovery set for $50 off. So the Dude 15 is off of any bottle.
all right. And the so he's saying he has a discount code dude 15. I just put it in
Mhm.
the chat. The I also put it in the description, which if you look in the description of this, their website is there. Make sure to go check them out. A lot of their fragrance, I mean, from La Tacita de Cafe that started out the whole thing. Tres
Mhm.
Oros that started out this. We have the new Desert Rain with Colton Dixon, Royal Reflection, Del Mar, Ambar Dominicana. What I think is probably the only office tropical fragrance out there, and Bonnie. I
Money.
find to me, I don't know if that's just me, but to me, it is an office tropical. It is a
Mm.
tropical fragrance you wear to the office. I don't know why. That's just how I describe it. But there's so many good fragrances. And then I just tried out Aylin, and I've been calling that Island forever. I just tried out Aylin for the first time, and that fragrance is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to be doing a
Thank you.
review on it once I get a bottle. I mean, you might not be trying to do creativity, but in my mind, if there was a creative brand that is just in my mind all the time right now, it is Day 3.
Well, thank
And
you.
you are my number one niche house right now at this point in time.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow. I appreciate that.
before this, I was looking. It was between Zaharoff and probably Killian. I would have to say, or those were my probably top two. But I mean, it's just the creativity and the different. stories that you've told me now in the two live streams we've spoken, and even outside of the live streams, and then being able to experience. I haven't experienced them all, and I'm definitely going to. But I just love not only that, but can you guys just experience this for me? Is that not the best atomizer in the entire game? That was a 4 second spray, and I pressed it down halfway.
Yeah, we have those made for us. That's a custom atomizer.
Yeah, I if you can see almost every video that I do for yours, I always do that. I always pick up the cap like this and say, "You can pick up the cap and look, it doesn't fall." And then the atomizer is just on point. But Newt said he's been trying to get me on island. He's been trying to get me on island for so long. And I just I always go, and this is my fault, but like I told you before, I have so many different things I'm looking at, so many people asking
Mhm.
me to pick up. I don't know what to pick up at that point in time, and so I just kind of just choose what I want to choose, even though I act like I'm choosing what people are asking me to choose. I choose what I want. And right now, what I want is just to experience as much day three as I possibly can.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We
But is there? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we include every fragrance in the discovery set for that reason, is because we love it when people try the entire house, get everything on skin. We try to discourage blind buying, so we push our discovery sets really hard. If anyone buys a discovery set from us, it comes with a $50 discount off of any bottle, and the discovery set itself is only $50. So essentially, it's like getting it for free. And then we don't even charge shipping for the discovery set or for the bottle. So uh, it's just because we really think that if you buy a discovery set and you get everything on skin, you'll fall in love with at least a couple.
Well, I'm taking notes. That's why I keep looking down. I'm taking notes because at the end of our last live stream, I make a community post for everybody to see afterwards. And last time it got like almost 1,000 people looking at it. So
Wow. All
yeah,
right.
so I wanted to make sure I had all the sales and everything you were saying right. But you guys can sample anything. Literally on their site, they have samples of basically everything. You have samples of everything separately too, don't you?
Well, we have everything in the discovery set, and we don't have separate samples except for right now Desert Rain,
That's
because
right.
if you just bought a discovery set last month and it didn't have Desert Rain in it, we don't want to try to sell you another discovery set. So what
Right.
we do is for the latest release, we'll always offer those samples individually. So if you just missed out on that, you can just pick up that sample by itself, and then you don't feel like you have to buy a whole nother set. Because that's how I would want to be treated if it was me buying samples.
Well,
Um,
what I'm going to be doing, Michael, I already told them, and I didn't tell you this yet, but I'm going to be doing when I buy Island, I'm going to buy a Discovery set, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the day three so that somebody can experience it, and that's going to be probably in about a week or two.
Hey, let's give away three. I'll send you three sets, and you can just pick three of your viewers at random, and let's do three discovery sets. As a matter of fact, what we'll do is instead of just giving away the discovery set, we'll give you the discovery set with the code that comes along with it. So even if they win the discovery set for free and try everything, they'll have a code that they can use on a full bottle too. So if they like a
Wow.
bottle, they can grab a bottle. That'd
Thank
be
you so
fun.
much. Thank you
Of
so much.
course.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, happy birthday to you and happy birthday to everybody in the chat right now. That's awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Is there anything else you want to share with anybody, or does anybody in the chat have anything else to share before we do hop off here?
Well, if I could ask a favor,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
I'm right here.
a lot of our customers, believe it or not, have never heard of Fragrantica before. So
Mhm.
if you've tried a day three fragrance and you enjoyed it and it's your thing, if you have a bottle and you want to leave us a Fragrantica review, we would so appreciate that because it's you have to have a like a membership to post on Fragrantica. Like you have to be logged in, and not everybody wants to do that. So yeah, if you leave us a Fragrantica review, you'll be our BFF forever. So anybody in the chat that wants to leave us a Fragrantica review, we would love that.
Well, I do have to say, I have a Fragrantica account, but I never leave reviews, but I will go on for everyone that I own right now, and I will do a personal review right after this.
Yes, thank you very
So
much.
you'll get at least 5 new reviews here from those.
That's
But
awesome.
I appreciate you. If I would like to get you back on here again. I mean,
Yeah.
every time you have a new release, or just if you ever just want to join me on a live stream, I
Okay.
love having you on. You're probably my favorite guest that I have on here.
Dude, thank
Um,
you.
it's just it's very easy to talk to you. You're just like, yes, I look up to you and everything that you're doing at your company, but I also see you as like a friend, and it's very easy
Yeah.
to talk to you. So I love having you on here. But if you guys didn't hear, I put the code in the chat, dude 15. Also, everything about the discovery sets, I'll let you guys know more about that. I'll
Yep.
post everything about this live stream in my community post. But thank you and happy birthday to you, Michael. I really
Thanks.
appreciate having you on here, man.
Yeah, you're the best. Oh, one last very small
Oh
thing.
no,
If
I'm not in
anybody,
a rush at
okay.
all. I just I thought you were, because I last time I know you left pretty early, so I just
No,
didn't know.
I almost left without saying, like, if any of your viewers are near Nashville, we have an event coming up on the 28th, August 28th, and it's you can pop into Refinery Fragrances in Nashville, and Colton Dixon will actually be there signing bottles, and then the day three team will be there, and it's going to be a blast.
What date is that?
August 28th.
August 28th. So if you're in Nashville, August
Yep.
28th, go see day three. And you said you're going to come back to Pittsburgh at some point in time, right?
Yeah, yeah. We stopped into Perfumology and loved it.
Oh, I go there all the time.
Dude, the shop is amazing. It's like Disneyland.
When were you
Amir, the guy that
there?
runs it, is great.
When were you in Pittsburgh?
Good question. We were releasing Tres Oros, and it was like a couple of weeks or a week after the launch, and we
Yeah,
were there. Yeah, but when we come back, I'll definitely let you know.
dude,
Um,
I'm sad because that was like my favorite release, and you were in town, and I already knew you at that point in time. That sucks, but it's fine. I appreciate you, Michael. I'll obviously be talking to you soon. If you guys have any other questions, I'll obviously forward it on to him. But
yeah.
thank you very much. Great work, and say hi to Vanessa for me and
Thank you. I
Dakota as well.
appreciate everybody that was watching. You guys have an awesome night. I'll
All
talk
right,
to you
have a good
soon.
night. Yeah, you
All right,
too.
bye-bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you enjoyed the live stream. Um, Michael is a great dude, absolutely fantastic perfumer, great person to talk to. I mean, I had some questions written down here that some people had put down for me. I honestly didn't even have to look down for them most of the time because it's just so easy to talk to him. And like I've had other perfumers on here, it's not even the same. It's not even close. I mean, these fragrances are great, yes, but I didn't even have to talk about the fragrances to talk to him. It's exciting, and having you guys in the chat that are just showing the support. Again, make sure if you are interested in day three, the New Desert Rain is great. If you like Rose, the Rose Soliflor, it's like a weightless rose, Royal Reflection. Day three, Tres Oros. Now that I found that out, fantastic, fresh gourmand. It's like pineapple with like a pineapple ring with honey and cinnamon dusted all over it. It is really a great fragrances. And then again, he was talking about the sample packs, discovery sets. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some giveaways on that. So I appreciate all of you guys for being here. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I gotta go. My daughter wanted to go for a walk with me, so I told her that I would at 9 o'clock. So I got some stuff to do before that. But thank you guys so much for showing up. I really appreciate all of you. And again, look forward to some videos coming out this week. I appreciate. Peace out.